Hello everyone, welcome to AKS IAS main section of free initiative. This is Santosh Koka. Today we will discuss one important question. Before that we will check small information. TGPSC, APPSC Group 1 and 2 English and Telugu medium new batch already started on 11th November. So prelims cum mains integrated coaching offline live online classes are conducting here. So for more information you can call this number. Let's check today's main section of free initiative. Question for 4th November 2024, that is subject related to polity. Discuss the implications of the Supreme Court's ruling requiring prior sanction for prosecuting public sectors accused of money laundering in official duties. Here we are following daily the 3 steps before writing answer. First step is question reading. Within 1 minute we need to identify different question tags and keywords. What is the topic here? Supreme Court's recent ruling on especially prosecuting public servants accused of money laundering, right? So what are the important question tag here? Discuss is the one and only important question tag. Here we need to focus on providing positives and negatives, and finally before conclusion we need to provide some needed measures. That is our discuss keywords meaning. Next, what are the important question tags here? Keywords here. First important thing is implications. Implications means it related to some negative sentence, right? Before that we need to focus on providing some positives, right? As per our discuss question tag, right? So here we can add our significance part of Supreme Court's ruling, especially importance of Supreme Court's ruling, that can be a positive role, right? So next, before ending our conclusion we can add some needed measures for the implication part, right? So let's create some structure according to the demand of the question. First important thing is significance part, significance of SC ruling, simply we can say that. Next important thing is implications are what are the implications of the Supreme Court's ruling requiring prior sanction for prosecuting public servants, right? So next, finally, needed measures. Some needed measures need to include before concluding our answer, right? That is the important structure of the question especially, right? So next, brainstorming. Within 1 minute we need to recall important keywords related to the topic. Whenever we are writing some related topic to the polity, so we need to include each and everything like acts, reports, articles if there are anything, right? So policies or Supreme Court cases or judgments, right? So recommendations, especially experts recommendations, all are requiring here, right? So for example, here we can connect our section 197 of criminal procedural code, right? So we can also relate to section 218 of our Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Sanhita 2023 Act, right? Section 280, that is related to provision corresponds to, especially we are talking about the money laundering cases, right? So all these are very important. Other than that, we can also connect as a background prevention of money laundering act, right? That is also very important here, right? Other than that, we have important particular corruption perception index. We also include corruption perception index according to particular India's ranks also we can produce here, right? So other than that, we can also provide second ARC commission, whatever we have, administrative reforms commission report also we can give here, right? Along with NCRB data is very important, right? So regarding the information, right? For example, ED, Enforcement Directorate related data also need to include here, right? So all these are very necessary to include here as a justification part, right? So let's start our current affairs introduction especially. So because here we need to connect our polity subject, right? We are talking about polity. We need to provide some current affairs facts. For example, Supreme Court held that a prior sanction will precede the prosecution of public servants accused of money laundering charges in discharge of official duty. That is the Supreme Court recent ruling, right? So that is no need to include here, right? So other than that, we need to give some background related to it. Supreme Court dismissed a plea by the Enforcement Directorate, especially recently, which had challenged a High Court verdict that quashed the cognizance order on the agency's complaint against two IAS officers. That is the background case. So here we are dealing with ED case, right? ED plea especially, right? Next, coming to, we can connect our this particular decision reinforced the application of whatever we have section 197(1) of CRPC along with section 218 of our Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Sanhita, right? These are important, very important in the background part especially, right? So next, coming to our body part, we need to follow our clear structure. First of all, we need to provide our significance of Supreme Court ruling. That is the first important keyword we need to address, because this is the positive aspect, right, as per our discuss question tag, right? First of all, what are the important significance? First of all, it can prevent whatever we have frivolous litigations, right? It can prevent frivolous litigation. That means, so it can protect public servants from politically motivated or baseless prosecutions especially, right? So we can connect here our India's rank, 85th rank in 2023 corruption perception index, that is highlighting the need to protect officials who act with integrity, right? So very important example. Other than that, in the significance part only, next, balance between protection and accountability. Here, balance between protection and also accountability is very important, right? So here it can ensure that while officials are safeguarded, there is no compromise on accountability in governance. For example, here we can connect our second Administrative Reforms Commission 2008 emphasized the need to protect civil servants from undue harassment, especially to remove that harassment, right? So these are the very much significant part of our Supreme Court ruling. Additionally, second keyword, major keyword mentioned in the question is implication, that is negative tone. First of all, we can talk about impact on anti-corruption, especially impact of on anti-corruption measures. That is very most important, corruption measures. So here we can talk about while the ruling shields honest officials, it may delay investigations into corruption cases due to the requirement for prior sanction. For example, here we can talk about NCRB 2022, National Crime Report Bureau data, that is showing a rise in corruption cases which may be affected by delays in prosecution, right? So another implication is institutional delays, also very much important here. Institutional delays, because the ruling whatever we have, Supreme Court ruling, could lead to delays in prosecuting officials involved in money laundering, especially in politically sensitive cases, right? For example, here we can talk about 2023 Global Money Laundering Report. What it says, it is highlighting India's challenges in addressing money laundering effectively, right? So these type of reports, indices, data or commission reports need to include here and there. Next, impact on investigating agencies, also very important. This ruling will impact our investigation agencies, that will be a implication, right? Agencies like what we have, Enforcement Directorate may face hurdles in initiating timely action against public servants. For example, here in 2022, ED dealt with several high-profile money laundering cases involving public officials, but prior sanction requirements could slow down their efforts, right? So these type of examples need to include here. So finally, we need to provide needed measures, right? Needed measures. Finally, we need to provide here. First of all, what is need to be done here? Solution part. First of all, clear guidelines need to include, right? Clear guidelines for the sanction is very much important here, right? Establishing the transparent guidelines to ensure that the sanction process is timely and free from political bias, especially. For example, here we can talk about our second ARC recommended creating an independent body, right? Independent body to oversee the sanction requests, right? We need to create this particular body, right? Another needed measure is time limits, right? Time limits for sanction. First of all, clear guidelines for sanctions. Second points, time limits for sanction, because we need to set a clear guidelines or deadlines, especially for granting or denying sanction, to avoid unnecessary delays in investigations. For example, we can take here Vineet Narayan case, that is in 1997. It mandated that sanction request should be decided within 3 months, right? So very relevant example. Next, coming to third important needed measure, that is strengthen our anti-corruption mechanism. That is also very important here. Anti-corruption mechanism need to be strengthened. While protecting officials, there should be a simultaneous strengthening of mechanisms to combat our corruption. For example, here already we have Lokpal Act, right, 2013. It enabling the shift investigations into corruption cases, ensuring our transparency. Very important example. So finally, in the conclusion part, we can talk about, or if we follow above measures, clear guidelines, whatever we have, clear guidelines should be there, and time bound procedures should be there. Very important, crucial to balance our accountability. Very important keywords here need to include, and protection, right? Need to balance, right? Accountability and also protection need to be balanced. For that, we need to follow these type of clear guidelines and time bound procedures, right? Very important. So this is the perfect structure and approach according to the demand of the question, whatever we have, right? So next, coming to day 123 question, main section, a question for 15th November 2024. Evaluate the economic implications of the union government's one state one RRB strategy on enhancing credit availability and promoting rural development in India. That is related to our economy subject. Very important, recently seen in the news, one state one RRB strategy, right? So for upcoming UPSC and very importantly AP Group 1 mains examinations, right? So write your answer and upload in the AKS app. Thank you very much. All the very best.